Hello, everybody. Welcome to Let Me Know That You Know podcast. I'm Dusty, aka Mr. Coin Laundry, and with me is my partner in crime.
It's Mandie, aka yours truly, Mandie.
How is everybody? Hope you're all doing great.
I'm doing good. Are you doing good?
I'm doing good. I'm doing fan fucking tastic.
We're having a nice, peaceful weekend. It's great.
We sure are. We sure are. Um, shall we get to?
Oh, yeah, let's get to. Okay, Zachary Michael. All right.
Uh, you wanted to talk about I don't know anything about this, but
Okay.
I've seen ads.
All right. Let's get into it. Skull and Bones, right? We'll
Yeah.
start out at the beginning, right? They're marketing this
Yes.
game as not a triple A game. Oh, no. It is a quadruple A game. They're
Oh
like,
my
this is
God.
this is better than those scummy triple A games. It's quadruple. Anyway,
Not
so the game comes
quadruple.
out and it's okay. I think is the consensus. It's just okay. I think they still have
Yeah.
like pretty much every other triple A game coming out now. It has things that needed to work out, whatever. But the thing is, it's a pirate game, right? We've had pirate
Yeah.
games before.
We've had plenty. Several.
True, true. The problem is uh, they could have done better for a pirate focused game. The
Yeah.
combat leaves much to be desired, right?
No.
If you
Yeah.
compare it to like Sea of Thieves or even going back Assassin's Creed Black Flag, right?
Yeah.
Um it's much more fulfilling. Like I can attest to like Black Flag, right? That one I have
Mm-mm.
played. I haven't really played Sea of Thieves. I know you have. But like
I
when you
have.
attack the other ships, right? You can
Hmm.
attack the ships themselves. Sure, great. Love that. But in Assassin's Creed,
Yeah.
you can also board the ships and like attack the people on the ships at the same time
I'm pretty sure
and
you can
loot
do
it
that
that
in Sea
way.
of Thieves
So
too.
this one, you attack the ships and it's like fine, right? But then
Yeah.
it's almost like a mobile game or like even like WoW, right? When you finish
Yeah.
attacking the ship and it's defeated, you like hit a key
Yeah.
and loot the ship,
Gotcha.
right? So I'm like, that seems less fun. And like they
Huh?
made Assassin's Creed. They've done
Yeah.
this. They've made a better version of this. And they had the audacity to go, this is a quadruple A game. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. You dumbed down good combat and made a pirate game. Like, no. No, you didn't. Anyway, I had some feelings about that
Um,
because they already did it well. It should have been like a layup to go, well, we did this before.
well, it is sad to think about lately a lot of these major companies. And I can't think of any example from like Nintendo recently because the last thing I remember that was big that came out from them was the Zelda game. I'm sure they've come out with others, but that's just the last thing I paid attention to. Um, but a lot of AAA titles are coming out with lackluster games, and then you have these people who made Power World, and like you can have a lot of fun with Power World. And then you have these people who
True.
made Lethal Company, and me and my brother have been having a lot of fun with Lethal Company,
Yeah.
and these people are like
Like
not
shoestring budgets, da da da.
just like five people in a
Right.
basement or something like that.
Right.
And I think all these big companies think, oh, we slapped our label on it, so our logo on it, so you're gonna pay us money.
Sure. Right.
And
I
that's
I'm with
not
you.
how
Yeah.
it works.
No.
It's not gonna happen that way. Like if you make a shit game, I'm not gonna buy your shit game. That's
Right.
just end of story.
Yeah, it's funny. There's a lot of like AAA games that unless I'm real psyched on it, I'm not going to I'm not going to buy it day 1. There's been so
No.
many issues in like the recent years of day 1 launches that it makes it not even worth it anymore, you know?
Yeah. It's not good. not good at all.
Yeah, it's just kind of sad. And like I primarily, right? Especially just speaking on the launch issue thing, I feel bad for like the
Yeah,
dev teams, right? Because it's only a
yeah.
result of like all this crunch time and like, pushing out the product before it's ready. I get it.
Well,
Like on that front, I totally get it. I understand why these day one patches happens and they're releasing like incomplete games. But then that goes up to management to go, we should not do this because we are losing like the faith of the consumer, right? That buys their games,
they
that
don't
funds their
care.
company. I know they don't care. But
Um,
if they had a thought about it, that would be a good thing to
yeah.
think.
It goes back to I was talking to my boss about this the other day. It goes back to the problem being, you know, probably a lot of the dev teams and a lot of the lower uh, level employees have better ideas, have ideas on how to make these good games and how to make something original, but
Mhm.
if they present it to the upper upper management, it's shot down because they're like, no, we're gonna do
Right.
something cheap, easy, fast, and they're gonna buy it because our logo's on it.
Right. And
And
I think
it's
that
just,
oh, go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say, it's just gonna come down to people need to make their own companies, and I know that's easier said than done,
Right.
but like, you're not gonna get anything new or original from any of the big companies anymore. They don't care.
I think
They,
another thing that's going to
yeah,
happen that might already be happening is people aren't just going to buy games because of company name or brand recognition or whatever anymore. Because, I
yeah,
mean, consumers have been disappointed time and time again in recent years
yeah.
from launches. Like, there's no guaranteed success anymore because they are
I
just
mean,
pushing things out way too early and going,
look at
I guess
Suicide
we'll.
Squad.
Oh, I know. I know. I think they even all but
Sh-
admitted, like, it was a failure. It was a
Yeah,
failure at
I
launch.
mean, that should have been by their theory. That should have been, million sales day one.
Right.
You got brand recognition. You got Harley Quinn. You got the same company that brought you Arkham Asylum and all that stuff. So they're gonna buy it. Dog, you made it a live service game. Like no one wants
Yeah.
that anymore. Stop it.
Right. And
Stop
I
it.
do find it interesting, right? The
Yeah.
conversation around single player games don't sell. And
Yeah.
I just think there's way too much evidence to the contrary. I feel like it's such a silly take, right? Because you have
Yes.
I'll take the example from Nintendo that you brought up, Zelda, right?
Mm,
When a new Zelda game comes out, it sells like hotcakes, dude.
it does. Yeah.
Let's take, my favorite example of the moment, Infinite Wealth. It came out.
Yakuza
It came out
like a dragon.
within like
Yep.
a week. At least it was like a week or two, whatever. It's been less than a
Yeah.
month that game has been out. It has
Yeah.
passed the million seller mark, right?
Mhm.
It's a single player game. Like, something's
Mhm.
not adding up if you're saying these games don't sell. They do sell. There is an audience. You just don't want to focus on it. You want to focus on this live service for some
You
reason.
just
I don't
want to try
understand.
to. I don't know. Ever since Overwatch came out, these people have been nuts about it. The
And
first
I liked
Overwatch.
Overwatch. I did. It was fun.
Yeah. It was fun to do once.
Well, I mean, yeah,
One
not
time.
every game needs to be an online experience. And some games just
No.
don't lend to that. You know what I mean? Like the
No.
story, it doesn't make sense to have it be an online game.
Yeah.
Or
It's
like
that.
even as much as it could be an online game in the sense of like Demon Souls, right? Or Dark
Yeah.
Souls, where pretty much the online aspect is maybe you have someone come in and help or the notes. Like that's fine.
Yeah.
That's a fine level of online for me, right? For
Yeah.
some of these titles, but they make it much more involved when it doesn't need to
mm,
be.
mm. Yeah. It makes me really sad. I There are games that I wish could have gone further, but they made them live service, and they're just not gonna. It's
I'll
not gonna
take
be
one.
anything.
I have an
Mm.
example. I have an example of a game that should have been something
Hmm.
better than it was.
Hmm.
Anthem.
Yeah, it should have.
We know
That should have.
BioWare
That
can
should have
make a good
just
game.
been a single player
Right.
experience.
BioWare makes excellent single player games.
Yeah.
Right? I know I've only played Dragon Age. I love those. Even the second one.
Hmm.
The second one has its charm. It's not as good as the others, but it's fine. It's okay.
I hate the second one so much.
I know you do. It's okay.
The only,
It's
the only
still
thing good
decent.
about the second one is Barry.
Exactly. We would not have had Varric if we did not get Dragon Age 2. Um but
Ooh,
but Mass Effect, I know you like Mass Effect.
I love Mass Effect.
Excellent story.
Maybe they need
Anthem,
to go back to just having an online mode
that would be
instead of
fine.
making the whole thing online. Like
Yeah.
Mass Effect 2, I think introduced a online multiplayer
Mhm.
you know, kind of a Halo type
Sure.
go kill the aliens or whatever
Like Dragon
thing.
Age Inquisition had the same. It was a
Yeah.
multiplayer thing. I
Yeah,
never played
and
it, but
they should give you the option instead of forcing you,
right.
which they're not forcing you to buy the game, but like they
If it's
act
a
like
series you like, you're
yeah,
probably going to want to, or even up. I mean, like I said, I think this is holding less weight now, but a publisher you like, you're more likely
yeah.
to check it out.
Well, it's especially holding
Anthem.
less weight now because they just get rid of all the people that made the
Mhm.
company great.
Right. That's a big issue, a big concern for me as far as BioWare is concerned right now. I'm
Hmm.
like, there's a lot of people that are gone that did a lot of the writing on the Dragon Age games that I'm like, I'm like, I don't
Yeah,
know what I'm gonna get, and I'm real worried about it.
yeah. We can only pray that it doesn't become a live service game.
I think they after Anthem was a big. I really
Yeah.
it had some cool elements. Like I did play it because I was like, I love Dragon Age, so maybe I'll like this. It had cool elements. It did.
Mm.
But the execution just didn't work.
No,
It's
not at
sad.
all. Just say it.
I love how we
But
started with Skull and Bones and ended up here.
I mean, it does pave the way
Mhm.
to this
Just
kind of talk.
game frustrations.
Yes, unfortunately. Although Ubisoft, I would not. I mean, controversial opinion. I would not be sad if Ubisoft just went away.
I,
I
th-
don't like that company.
I can't think of the last like Ubisoft game I was super duper hyped about.
The
It's
last
been
one
a
I was
while.
hyped about was a PS3 game, and that was a Rayman game.
Damn.
That was
What
a
about
long time
Assassin's
ago.
Creed Odyssey?
I thought it was funny. I've never been an Assassin's Creed person. The first one I played
Mhm.
a long time ago, and I know people are gonna lose their minds when I say that. Um, I played it and it was fun, but then after a while, I was like,
It
everything
it's very
looks the
repetitive.
same,
Yeah.
and I don't think I want to play this
I will
anymore.
say I think the later ones did a better job of keeping it more interesting. Right? Even just
Probably,
on the exploration level, they did such a good job of like
yeah,
recreating these places that it was just it's cool. It's cool to look at. It's fun. But
yeah,
yeah, I do agree the first at least couple. I think I played the first two. I don't know if I finished the second one, but I think I finished the first. Um
yeah.
Very repetitive with some of the
And I
stuff you
mean,
had to do.
I'm sure the story was great, but if I can't, you know, keep interested in the game in the first game, like, come on, man.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna keep playing. I'm just not. Like
right.
everybody has their interests. Everybody
That's fine.
is different. Yeah.
Odyssey was cool though. So was the pirate one.
It was
If
the only
only just to
thing
be a pirate.
I just got a kick out of it because that lady kept saying Marcos,
Marcos. I know.
Marcos.
Marcos.
Where's Marcos? And
Best.
then we have a pizza place.
Oh,
Well, I guess
yep.
it's a chain.
It
I
is
don't
a
know
chain.
how far it goes, but it's called Marcos. And so we just kept going, Marcos.
Marcos.
Do you want Marcos? I want Marcos. I'm hungry for Marcos. But yeah,
Yeah,
I've never been an Assassin's Creed girly.
that's
Just
fine.
couldn't be me.
That's fine. I'll forgive you.
I'm sure my brothers are screaming right now,
Probably.
but
But
I
I'll
think I've
forgive you
told
this
them
once.
before I don't like it, and they were mad.
That's why you're sure then.
Uh,
You already know. Okay. That's kind of all. I just thought the whole Skull and Bones thing was interesting cuz I'm like you did a bad
yeah,
version of something you already did. Of course it's not selling like crazy. They can just go buy a way cheaper game and have a better time.
yeah, yeah. Um, our next topic is just something I've been seeing go around the interwebs
Worldwide.
now that they've announced worldwide. The fucking aunt would. Since they announced that they were continuing the story from the X-Men animated series from when we were kids.
Which I think is an interesting idea. I don't know if it's a
I
good
mean,
idea. It's an interesting idea.
I'm sure it'll be good. I don't think it'll be the same as much as they want it to be. Like they can imitate the art all they want, and they can
Mhm.
try to imitate the vibe all they want. I don't think it'll have the same vibe.
Right. Cuz it's been like
Um,
what, 20 years, 30 years in between.
may, maybe longer, maybe 30. I don't know. But the fact that I mean, we had our own little. It was campy, but it was charming. Like everything from our childhood was very cheesy, but in a weird, charming way.
Sure.
Like if you
That
go
might
back and
be
watch
a
Power Rangers and stuff,
yeah, that might be a nostalgia take because I mean it's
it
cheesy
could
to
be.
us because we lived it, you know.
I guess, yeah. But I don't know. Like I feel like if you show a Gen Zer some of the shows we watch, they're gonna be like, "This is kind of stupid."
They'd be like cringe.
Yeah.
I don't even
But
think
I
they
don't
say
know.
that anymore, do they?
I don't
These
think so.
children. I
That's
don't
kind of
know.
an us
It is.
thing.
It is.
But I do think X Men had. They would probably like X Men. But the
Oh, for
thing
sure.
is, you are basically marketing this show to a small subsect
Me.
of an audience
It's
that
me.
remembers that show,
Right.
and you're kind of closing it. I mean, I guess I don't know. It
I think
doesn't.
the idea is that we're adults now, right?
Yeah,
Some of us
I
having
just
kids, right? So they'll show it to their kids, and then the idea is it spreads to that market next.
yeah. I just feel like at a point they need to stop marketing to not stop marketing to us, but start doing new shit
Yes,
that these kids are gonna uh fondly remember instead of them having to pick up
have
our
our
shit.
memories.
Yeah. But anyways, that's not even the thing I wanted to talk about. That's
Hmm.
just a tangent I always end up going on.
Okay.
Um People online, grifters, I think I can say that. I think
Okay.
I can call them
All
grifters
right. Go off. Let's find out.
who pretend to have even the smallest idea of what the fuck they're talking about are going online and saying like they're looking at the trailers, right? And they're
Hmm.
looking at all the stuff that is going to be in the show and they're like, "Oh, X-Men is woke now.
X Men
X-Men
was
is woke,"
woke.
which
If
I
they want
hate
to
that.
use that word, it was
Yeah.
woke. It has always been woke. It was
If
woke before woke
it
existed.
exists to be woke, it existed in the beginning to be woke, which I hate that fucking word now because it doesn't mean
It doesn't
anything
mean anything.
anymore. And these
It just
people
means
just
whatever
use it.
you don't agree with, you're
I mean,
lumping it in
it's
there. I'm sure
the
there's
dumbest thing I've ever
contradiction.
heard.
There's like contradictions in whatever that is.
I'm sure. But anyways, they're like, oh, it's woke now. It's woke now. Like they're gonna
You're
pander to the
woke.
woke crowd. Bestie, ha- say you've never read a single X-Men comic, you've never watched a single episode of the original cartoon, you've never watched any of the cartoons, and you've never watched any of the movies without saying that you've never done any of those things, you fucking idiot.
Right.
Like, what did you think the X-Men were? The tagline is literally what you're saying it's trying to be now. It's been that way since its inception. A group of people that are forced to live in a world that fears and hates them, and they're forced to protect these people. Fears and hates them,
Mm-hmm.
almost like they are a. Is metaphor the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Almost like they're supposed to represent a marginalized
Community.
group,
Right.
all of the marginalized groups
Right.
that have to deal with what the mutants deal with in the stories presented to you in all of X-Men media? What the fuck do you mean it's woke now?
It's woke now.
Don't read comics, first of all, because
You're gonna
I have
struggle.
sad, sad, sad news for you. Oh my God, I see
Yeah.
this all day, every day now because I follow good people who are like defending it and they're talking to them about like, what did you think this show was or what did you think it was to begin with?
Mm-hmm.
And so I see, because of them responding to them, I see the hateful people
Yeah.
and I'm just like, what is wrong with you people? What is wrong with you? And I don't get the people who are trying to get like, um, what's the word? uh Responses and all that. I don't know what word I'm looking for.
I mean, clickbaiters, that kind of
Yeah, the
thing.
clickbaiters and all that. I don't get that from the hate or whatever. Like, yeah, you get a bunch maybe at one time, but eventually that goes away.
Right.
Why don't you try not being an asshole and try building a audience
Right.
instead of just
Because that's not quick.
temporary? Yeah.
That's literally all it is.
Anyways,
That's not quick.
no, it's just stupid. It's all
But it
stupid.
also won't last as long either.
No.
If you clickbait or like engagement bait, I guess is what they're calling it now.
Engagement, that's the
Engagement
word I
bait.
was looking for, yeah.
Um, you're gonna get an audience, sure, but they're gonna forget about you because
Oh,
you're
yeah,
building
very
it off of
fast.
nothing, right? You're building it off
Very,
of
very
one
fast.
shit take that maybe you'll get an audience for, but eventually they're gonna forget why they followed you.
People are gonna see you're not authentic,
Right.
like, real fast, and
Because the easiest way to spot it is watch a person who their only like comments, right? Or their only like notable comments are things that are controversial. Like they just
yeah,
search for those posts and just have a
yeah,
controversial take and there you go. That's it.
yeah. It's just, stupid. It's a stupid thing,
Yep.
and, I mean, I could go all day about it, but I just wanted to bring that up, like,
Fair.
it just blows my mind, it boggles the mind.
Yes.
Um, the next thing I did wanna talk about is, the basically what we kind of touched on with the X-Men thing, except the X-Men thing is just a continuation and not a reboot.
Right.
But um, don't you miss? I mean, I miss a time where instead of just rebooting everything, everyone tried to copy my homework, but don't make it obvious. Just have knockoffs
Sure.
like the Rite Aid version of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or something like that.
My favorite
Uh,
example that probably only relates to me was everybody else out there having Tamagotchis while I had a
Yeah.
Gigapet. I loved my Gigapet. My
Gigapet. Oh
Gigapet was
yeah.
the best thing.
Like I miss that. I miss that instead of we're gonna bring back uh Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is a bad example because every time they do it, they do something new and it's not just the same rehashed tired old story. It's always something they bring something new to the table. But
Sure.
when they bring something back and it's just literally the same story
Mhm.
but with upgraded uh graphics, maybe one or two people are a little bit different, but not
Sure.
really. It's just the same character with a different name. Is like, okay, I prefer when you did fighting Foodons knocking
Mhm.
off Pokemon, or when you had Duel Masters knocking off Yu-Gi-Oh! And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles themselves
Cuz
had
at
like,
least they had to make like a new story to go along with
yeah, they
the
had to do
knockoff.
something.
Right.
And like when they came up with these new characters, they had to go, okay, why are they this?
Right.
And so they had to do completely new origin stories. Like Biker Mice from Mars is a great example. It's for mice instead of turtles,
Mhm.
but they didn't go, ooze turned them into from ordinary mice into no, they came from Mars,
Right. Right.
as the
Something
title
else.
suggests. And it was a cheesy 80s cartoon or whatever, but it had its own charm. I loved it. It was fun. It was popular enough to get a reboot in 2000, which I just said
Weird.
I prefer the knockoffs, but
Right.
I'm just saying they came up with their own idea based on an idea
Sure.
instead of just going, we're gonna reboot Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but it's gonna be the same.
Right.
Like at least when they do reboot Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it's like now they have
Mhm.
spiritual powers, or now they found weapons that are magical, and now
Sure.
they're going into space first or something, you know.
Right.
But the things I'm thinking about are not coming to mind right now, but just just the same story over and over again. Like when, and I love DC, but when DC reboots things, it's always you know what's going to happen.
Mhm.
Clark Kent's planet blows up. Batman's parents are going to die in an alley.
Right.
Peter Parker, Uncle Ben is going to die. And he's going to do it 50 times
I have
because
a
we're going to
question
keep
then.
making this movie.
I have a
Huh?
question then.
Yeah.
Uh what is your opinion, right?
Hmm.
On like the AU, like the alternate universe. Like
Hmm.
we'll take Spider-Man specifically. We
Yes.
had our Miles Morales, reboot
Hmm.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Is that different enough that
That's way more acceptable to
okay.
me than we have Peter Parker for the eighth time and
Right.
Uncle Ben is about to die and he's going to tell him, hey, Peter, with great power
Power
comes
comes
great
great
responsibility.
responsibility. Right.
It's like when Weird Al parodied Piano Man, and he says Uncle Ben's great with great power comes great responsibility. That's the old catchphrase of Uncle Ben. He said, "Don't worry, they'll say the line again and again and again." But with Miles Morales, it's a completely different
Right.
person. Like, yes, he has the same powers.
Right.
Yes, he has the mask, but Miles has his own villains. He has his
True.
own story. If you watch Spider Verse, his uncle is the villain. His uncle didn't get shot and killed by a mugger. His uncle is the villain. He's Prowler.
Okay.
And I don't know how much that kept to the comics because I never got a chance to get the comic. It was sold out super fast because people loved seeing Miles Morales.
Sure. Of
It
course.
was something new. He represented a marginalized community that was not represented before.
Right. Or
And
as main in such a mainstream way anyway, for
yeah, in
sure.
such a mainstream way. uh, Especially with such a big company, which Marvel has had, Black Panther and everything, but
Mhm.
we're talking their biggest, one of their, arguably their biggest property,
Sure,
Spider-Man.
of course. And like I think
And
when this was happening, it might have even been before or as the Black Panther movie was being made, which I think got the property much more attention, right?
yeah. Well, I think the movie was in. I don't remember quite when the comic happened. I think I was still in Albany at the time.
Right. And that's what I'm
Or
talking about when the comic came out in the first place.
yeah,
I think it was prior to the Black Panther movie coming out. Just to
yeah,
play, talk off of what you brought up. So it
yeah,
was really the first big mainstream superhero
yeah. And
being
Black Panther was a comic for a long time, but I don't
right.
think it was quite as popular until the movie, as you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it had the
Yeah,
resurgence it
yeah,
had now until the movie
yeah,
came out. So Miles Morales was really the kind of the first step in that direction to bring heroes that
yeah.
represent more than just, you know,
And you know, it's different than them just being like it's Peter Parker, but he's black now.
right.
It's a whole different character, and he
Right.
has his own. They're not just like here you go, like this. We're throwing
Just
a bone.
slap a new
Yeah,
face on the same story.
they actually gave it some thought. They gave
Mhm.
it some love. It's a wonderful, fantastic like franchise. Like the Miles Morales stuff, I love it. It's refreshing to see something new. And
And can I say I'm kind of happy because I know when Miles Morales was like announced that he was going to be
yeah,
Spider-Man, right? I know they got
yeah,
backlash. I remember.
oh yeah,
Um but I'm
racist.
glad yeah. I'm glad they dug their heels in and went, "No, we're
Oh
going to
yeah,
keep doing this."
of course. And rightfully so.
Mhm.
And it paid off in a big bad way because people love Miles Morales. Miles
Mhm.
Morales is a fantastic hero. Um, I have seen some of the later comics. I never got to read the original stuff when it came out
Sure.
because it sold out fast.
Right.
But seeing the movies was amazing, and like they do the Spider Verse stuff, and they get to
Mhm.
showcase all kinds of different Spider Man. You get to see like all the what ifs and all the different universes and
Yeah.
stuff, and that stuff. Like, yes, do that, do
Right.
that more
Right.
instead of Batman went down. I mean, Bruce Wayne went down an alleyway with his parents. They got killed. Okay, we're doing a new Batman movie. What happens in this? Bruce Wayne goes
Right.
down an alley. His parents
I
get
feel
killed.
like as far as, comics go, we'll say
Yeah.
of the main two, DC seems to be less willing to take risks,
Oh my
and I
God.
think
Yeah,
it stunts them a little bit.
it does. And you know, I love Batman, and I love all of these
Mhm.
comics. I love Spider Man and then all of that, and I have forever.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, Spider Man was, he was my favorite. It would go back and forth between Batman and Spider Man. And then it gets to a point where how many Batman stories can you tell?
Right.
The same thing over and over again. And
And to be fair,
like I said,
to be
I
fair,
love it. I love
right.
Batman.
I do too. My holy trinity was Batman, Spider-Man and Wolverine. Those were
Yeah,
my 3. I love
same,
them. I think I was them each one of those for Halloween at some point in my childhood. I love them.
same.
With the fake little foam muscles, great.
I think I
Um
was too. Yeah,
but to be fair to DC, I know they have like AUs and I know they kind of change it up a little bit, but it
yeah.
doesn't seem like they stray off the beaten path that
I
often or
think
are willing to replace characters
the
in alternate
the
universes, whatever they need to do.
the other ginormous problem
Mm-hmm.
is who both companies are owned by.
Okay.
Because Disney owns
Sure.
Marvel
Sure.
and Warner Bros. Owns DC.
Sure.
And so DC, I don't. personally know. I don't. I've never worked at either company. I don't know
Right.
how much like
All
if
speculation.
DC says we're gonna do this. I don't know if Warner Bros. Ever comes in and goes, "No, you're not.
They should
Get
they
back
should
to work on Batman."
they should get the Warner sister involved. I think that might solve some things.
Yeah, Dot, I
Yeah,
think she'll
get her
solve
involved.
so many problems. Yeah.
Get her on the phone.
Um, but I have heard from reputable sources,
Okay.
not so much that Warner Bros. Does this, but I've heard from reputable sources that people working at DC are just as tired of this
Sure.
as the readers, and they go to the higher ups and they say, "Can we please
Mhm.
start focusing on all these other IPs that we are just letting, die?"
Right.
And the powers that be say no, get back to work on that Batman spinoff or that Batman comic or that
Sure.
Superman spinoff or that Superman comic. Get back to work on Superboy. Get back to work on Robin. Get back to work on Nightwing. It has to be all Batman, all Superman, and that's it.
Right.
And if if they do put out another like a Green Lantern or something, it's kind of just not promoted as much,
Which is
and
unfortunate.
that's got to be frustrating. And the
Yeah.
other thing I've heard from the same source
Mhm.
is that original style is not often allowed. Stylized art is kind of frowned upon at those companies, and years ago, we'll say in the 2010s,
Mhm.
maybe 12, maybe 13, I don't know. This person that I'm referring to was at a con and he heard like, and it was a big con. I think it was like San Diego or something like that.
Okay.
And he heard artists trying to get hired by DC or Marvel,
Sure.
and they'd bring their work, and he heard the people at the
Mhm.
booth go, "No, get that crap out of here. We are not Image."
Gross.
And so just stifling people's creativity,
Right.
stifling uh because think about it. I mean, just actually think about it for a second. And people online want to mimic it, mimic the higher ups because they're so in love with these companies that they can't ever accept the flaws.
Right.
Um, so they want to immediately shit on these people. But actually think about it. Who do you remember as far as artists? Bruce Timm,
Right.
uh, Gendy. I don't know. I'm so sorry if I'm butchering his name. Gendy Tarkovsky, who did Samurai Jack, Powerpuff Girls.
Okay. Yeah.
You remember the people whose
Who
art stood out and was different
right.
and wasn't the same manufactured crap.
Right. The this is how we draw this and you must draw it this way kind of thing.
Yeah, and I'm not saying their art is probably
Well,
leagues
I
better than
wouldn't
mine.
I won't even say fault the artist. It's not the artist's fault. It's the company
No,
telling them you must draw it
yeah,
like this. I'm sure
but
they would love the opportunity to show off their own like
yeah,
stylistic interpretation, but I can imagine
and
if
I'm
they're
I'm
hired on, they
sure,
go, you. I mean, like you said, you draw it like we draw it, or that's that.
yeah, I'm sure you can look at my art and look at their art and be like, well, theirs is better anyway, and fuck you, and it's like, fair. Whatever. What I'm saying is, I remember Alex Ross. I remember Bruce Timm. I
Mhm.
remember Gendy. I remember the people who stood out
Right.
and did things their own way and said, "This is how I'm gonna do it. Fuck you." I don't know Joe somebody who drew Superman the same way that Mark somebody years
Sure.
ago drew it.
Right.
I don't remember those names. I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm sure that's blasphemy, but how did I get here? How did I get to this subject?
I because I brought up Miles Morales and then we
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
went down this rabbit
Anyways,
hole.
my point is yes, absolutely do things like Miles Morales if you
Right.
want to keep doing like Spider-Man or Batman and all that.
Yeah.
Absolutely, you can continue that IP if you give it a fresh face or a
Sure.
fresh story, something that's not the same
Beating
thing you
us in the head with
rehashed.
the same story over and over and over
Yeah,
again to the point that we can
but
just repeat it.
yeah, the thing that I don't like is the reboots that are just what we just said.
Right.
And I would rather you obviously rip off Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with Biker Mice from Mars or that one, I think it was called K9. It was like dogs
Okay.
instead. And they were like, I don't remember much about it, but I remember they had like metal suits. Anyways,
Okay.
obviously ripping it off, but at the same time, you have your own original idea. It's like, okay, yeah, I'd rather you do that than just do
Sure.
the same thing.
Right.
But yeah, to your point, yes, the Miles Morales thing, absolutely.
That's
Keep
like
doing
the
that.
acceptable version of a reboot where
Yes,
you basically start
please do
fresh
that.
just with the same IP.
I would rather you do that.
Yeah.
Like, Spider-Man has always been good about that, though. Like, I remember the clone era, and I think they actually called it the Clone Wars. But anyways, yes, people shit all over it. It was the '90s. It
Mhm.
didn't land well or whatever, but it was a completely different. He went off and became a different person, in a different world.
Sure.
But whatever. I just
Whatever.
I'm, I'm just tired of if you come out with a new Spider-Man movie, Uncle Ben dies.
Right.
Spoiler alert, within the first 10 minutes of the movie, his uncle's gonna
He
die.
might already be dead, you never know.
He might already be
I think
dead.
that was with Tom Holland. He didn't we didn't even have Uncle Ben to deal with it. He was
No,
just
we didn't
gone
have
already.
Uncle Ben. I think they were like, I mean, do we kill him again?
Yeah. How many times can we make these people watch this?
Yeah, I got lost there. I got lost there. I think you wanted to introduce a
Yes.
new segment.
I'm so ready. I'm so ready because I have all this information in my head and I feel like putting it somewhere. So you're going to get a Mandy's K-pop corner every week. I'm going to go over some
Hell yeah.
news of things happening within the industry and then
Yeah.
some new releases for you to check out
Hell yeah.
if it tickles your fancy, right? I'll start out with my news topics. I'm very personally excited about this one because I am a big NCT Wavy fan, right? Lucas,
Yes.
who was in the groups, is now finally preparing for his solo debut. There was a scandal. I don't think he actually ended up doing anything. It was just one of those things where the rumors, you know, went crazy
Yeah.
and then he got taken out of the group because image issues, right? Anyway, nothing
Mhm.
ever came of it. So now he's going to debut solo and his social medias are getting set up, like his official accounts. So I'm so excited. We're just waiting for the announcement. But there's got to be something coming. If they're making his social medias, that's usually like just before they start posting and like teasing. So very
Hell yeah.
excited.
I am glad he was able to do something. I do remember hearing those stories and be like, "Oh, well, damn,
Yeah, and like it
what do you
sucks
do?"
because he was also part of Super M, which is like their
Yeah.
SM's like super group, right? Has all
Yeah.
like the faves, we'll say, or like who they determined was the best from like each SM group, each male SM
Yeah.
group, we'll say. And yeah, so I was like, is he just gonna be out of the group? Like, what's gonna happen? Is he not gonna be on SM anymore? I didn't know. So now
Yeah.
we're here, and he's gonna debut.
Now we're here. Started from the bottom.
Now we're
Now we're
here.
here.
That's right. We're gonna get into some Blackpink talk because I'm very interested
Blackpink.
in this era of Blackpink, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot why I have to add one to the end of this.
Oh,
Anyway,
okay. Okay.
Blackpink. Jisoo has officially
Just
announced that she's established her
jeez.
own company. Jisoo.
Yeah.
uh Blissu, right? And so
Uh-huh.
her company will be handling her solo activities. To catch you up to speed,
Hell
right?
yeah.
For anyone not in the know, Blackpink renewed their group contract with YG, but I don't think any of the girls renewed their solo contracts with YG, which
I don't
honestly
think so.
I think is for the best.
I thought Rose had, but then it came out that she did not, because it was looking like she was the only one who was going
Yeah.
to.
Cuz she was the only
And
one that
then,
released a season's greetings with YG, which was
yeah, she
interesting.
was. Yeah.
But
I wonder what brought that about. Maybe
I
they were trying to get her to sign, and they were like, "Here, you can do the
that could be,
season's greeting."
or they were still kind of
Yeah.
flirting with the idea of that she might sign the contract,
Yeah.
so she went through with the normal obligations, right? Or
Yeah.
whoever she's working with agreed to let her do it.
Yeah.
Could be as well.
Could be.
But in general, I think this is such a better deal. Those girls did not get to come back like as often as any of the other groups in the industry. Like it was so bizarre to have such a mega group on your label
Yeah.
and their releases were so sparse.
Yeah.
Even if it was just like the girls like, cycling solos and then releasing like full lengths between those,
Yeah.
it would have been something. I don't understand why they just sat on Blackpink like they did. It didn't make any sense to me. And
I remember
seeing
being
go
like
ahead.
mildly disappointed at the second album because it took so long for them to release it.
And
And
it
like now I'm
felt
like, okay, yeah, I like these songs, but
yeah.
when waiting years,
And it felt
I
so much
was
like
like,
their
no.
first album, right?
Yeah,
For the
should
timing to
have
be so
released
far apart.
pretty soon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it felt like a much like it would have hit stronger. Like I think they sold fine. I don't think they needed any help, right?
no,
As far as that's concerned, but I think it would have hit much harder if it was a much sooner release, right after their first album, their first full length.
yeah,
But it's bizarre that after that first full length came out, there were some solo releases. I'll give them that, absolutely. But there weren't even like mini albums, which is so abnormal for the industry.
yeah.
So, that's my thoughts on Blackpink. I don't know, I've pondered over this for so long cuz it just didn't make any sense to me. And for how long
Yeah,
it took for Jisoo to get her single,
yeah,
it didn't make any sense. I'm like,
no.
they're all
And it felt
talented.
it felt like Jenny. And again, this is speculation. I don't know anything about what was actually going on, but outside looking in and just kind of seeing how it all went down, it felt like Jenny negotiated her own contract to get on the Idol. Like they didn't want her to do that, and she went on or something like that.
I would believe that just
Because
based on culturally
yeah,
the differences between Korea
it
and
didn't
us because
it didn't seem like they
immediately,
promoted her at all
yeah,
for that.
definitely not. And it might have been like agreed that we will not do this. We will not promote this in Korea because I mean immediately she got backlash for doing it.
Yeah.
And she was probably the most, we'll say, quote unquote decent, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like covered wise of the
Yeah,
whole show. So I'm like,
oh, sure, yeah,
girl.
and she didn't have really any situations that would have been
Right.
super frowned upon. I mean, there was
She
like one situation I could
right.
see them getting upset about just because of how different their culture is than ours, but
Well, she was,
it
we'll say
wasn't
quote
that
unquote,
bad.
she'll say we'll say quote unquote she was bitchy, right? That was
I
about it.
guess, but not really. Like when
Right.
you get to the end of the show, it's like she didn't even know what was going on, really.
Right.
She
She
was
did what she thought she
manipulated.
needed to do, right?
Yeah.
To have her dream come true, which, fair
Mhm.
enough, whatever. But
Yeah.
No, she got so much hell for that.
And she was kind
Lisa,
of like a footnote in that story
she
too.
really was. She really was. I mean,
Yeah.
she was a big enough part that we remember she was in the show, but like,
Hmm.
yeah, it wasn't
Hmm.
like it was she was the star by any means.
Yeah.
And I still don't understand. And then Lisa, right?
I don't
She
understand.
went and had that, short stint or whatever, like a few shows at that cabaret club. Same story, most
I
covered,
know. Yeah.
and she's still right now getting hell for doing it. Like
Hmm.
it's just so strange. Looking at a
Yeah.
Western perspective, because I mean that's all I can look at.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre the differences that on that aspect
Hmm.
between the we'll say the United States and Korea, because I'm like it wasn't even that bad.
It wasn't. It wasn't bad at all.
But yeah,
Um,
so
I'm excited to see what she's gonna bring though. That's my girl.
I
That's my
know
star.
you love Lisa.
Lisa. La Lisa love me. La Lisa love me.
um Rose, we'll do a quick little update on Rose. I
Mhm.
think we're gonna get something from her soon. um she's been super active on her socials, which usually
She's
means
been extremely active on her social.
we're
Well,
gonna
she did
start.
kind of mention that she was naming something, and I don't know if that
Oh,
was
she
gonna
was
be like.
naming her fan group, and I don't remember if
Oh,
anything ever
okay.
came of it.
I don't know if I mean I haven't checked my messages. She messages like 50
I'll
times a
read the
day.
English ones, but I don't always translate the Korean ones.
Yeah.
But she did, for sure, preview a track called Vampire
Yeah.
Holly. It was very good. It was very different, I'd say, from the Blackpink Rose
Yeah.
that
Well,
we've
she's
heard.
always been
Yes.
pretty different
So
from the
I'm
group.
very excited to see what kind of release would come from her. Maybe a mini album. Would love a full
Yeah.
length, but I will take a mini
Would
album.
love a full length. Everyone only really got two songs.
They got a single. They got the A
Yeah.
side and B side. That was it. Even
I
I will go
always felt
back.
like Rose should be more. Her sound just reminds me a lot of Avril Lavigne. I always
Sure.
felt like she leaned more into that, I
Yeah, and I
guess. I
would
don't
say
know.
her Vampire Holly track is a
Mhm.
lot more like of that vein. I wouldn't say it's exactly
Yeah.
Avril Lavigne like, but it's
Yeah.
definitely more alternative, we'll say, which is nice. I think that's a good fit for her. So I'm very excited to
Yeah.
see where that goes. Um Going back to the girls getting singles, right? Single albums. Can we can we talk about how Jenny got screwed on that too though?
Oh my God. Yeah.
I think she was the first one to release, and she literally only got the single, right? She did
Hmm.
not get the A side, B side that the other girls got.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I get that she was the first,
They
but she
framed it
had a
like she
song.
didn't want to do it,
She had
but
another song. That's what I
yeah.
don't understand. The one that they released most recently for her. I think I
Hmm.
assume just before the contract went out.
Yeah.
I think was also done at that same time. Like it was between those two tracks. Why couldn't that have been the B side? It was a good song. I liked it.
I don't know. I mean, they really, in the documentaries and stuff, they really tried to frame it like she didn't even want to do the single. But then, like you said, she had another song. Like, why
Mhm.
wouldn't they release it? If she really didn't want to do it, she wouldn't have done the other song.
Right.
I don't understand.
Right. If she was really against it, they could have taken, who was it? Was it it was Rose next.
Yeah.
Rose and like maybe pushed up her
Yeah.
singles, right? I don't
Hmm.
understand. I the whole time I have not understood what YG is doing with Blackpink. Obviously,
I don't
they've done
understand what YG is
well
doing with
enough.
anything.
True, true, true. That's very true. I mean, I can't believe this is going off the rails once again, but I can't believe G Dragon, right? When he was getting thrown under the bus, he was still in negotiations with YG. He had not planned to leave YG, which I think is very interesting how things all
Yeah.
played out because they did not do a thing to help him. And like he went and did the drug test, everything was fine.
Yeah.
But they did not lift a finger when he is technically still their artist at that point, or he was still their artist at that point. It was the company that he ended up signing to. He ended up signing to that
Yeah.
stepped in and handled the situation. Like, what
Yeah.
are they doing?
I don't know, dude. They're so fucking weird. I feel like there are a couple of companies that really have their head on straight,
Yeah,
and then
or at least
there are a couple,
better than others, for sure.
yeah, and then there are a couple others that are considered as big, but do not know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
I just
like I love him or hate him. I do feel like JYP knows what the hell he's doing with
sure he does
his
at least a
acts.
better job. I think a lot of them, a lot of these companies are getting into controversy right now,
Yeah,
for the sponsors that they're working with.
yeah, but
Um, but that's kind of an overall issue and affecting, I think, most of the companies. But yeah, overall, I would say JYP is doing a decent job
and
with supporting
obviously
their
hype,
members. Hype, of course.
big hit. You know, you got BTS and you got TXT, and those are two huge groups, and
Hmm.
they're being promoted appropriately, and you don't feel like they're getting shafted, at least not in the public eye.
Right.
So,
And like Hype also has, I mean, they're all under different
uh,
subgroups, right? But
yeah.
Hype also has New Jeans, Le Seraphim. Like
Hmm.
they've picked up quite a few big artists that are, consistently releasing and generally delivering on each of their releases. So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So continuing on from that, we went off the rails, but I think it was, I needed to get that out. Let me be real with you. The Blackpink thing has been baffling to me since the beginning.
It
They were one of
has
the
been.
first groups I got into when I really started, getting into K-pop, cuz like
Yeah.
my journey, my journey is a long one. My journey goes back to high school.
Yeah.
But when I really started, like, at least when it was really more accessible to me and I started getting into it
Hmm.
more, they were one of the first groups I started, getting albums from. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think they were my first actual K-pop album that I ever owned.
Yeah.
They weren't the first one that I was aware of, but I didn't even know about that kind of like genre of music. I just heard
Mhm.
the groups. Like I heard G Dragon a long time ago, and I heard Epic High a long time
Epic
ago, but I was
High.
never but I was never like yes, K-pop because I didn't really understand what was going on with all that.
Right.
Um, I just went, oh, these are foreign bands and this music sounds cool.
Right.
That's as
That
far as it
that
went
should
with
be
me.
enough as far as I'm concerned. You can
Yeah,
go, and you can say you're a fan. Like, I don't think there should be
yeah.
as much gatekeeping as there is. I think that's silly.
There should not be at all. There shouldn't be gatekeeping in any community, to be
I
honest. I
true.
hate that shit.
True.
It pisses me the fuck off.
Now,
And
do I think
y-
most of the gatekeepers are teenagers? Absolutely, because I remember being a teenager and
well,
being like, "Well, I've been a fan of them for longer, so you got to
yes.
earn your stripes."
It's either teenagers or 40 to 50-year-old men
True.
who should shut the fuck up.
True.
Just shut the fuck up.
True.
Like, get the fuck out of here.
Right.
I I will not tolerate gatekeeping in any community. I will not tolerate oh, you can't cosplay that person because you don't look exactly like that person. Fuck you.
And
If if I get lucky enough that my comics and my, games and all that stuff get popular enough that somebody sees my art and sees my characters and they're like, I want to cosplay as that person, and they don't look like that person. I don't fucking care. I'm
Right.
happy. I
That
will
you like the
cry
character
happy
enough to
tears at
right.
you. I will possibly scare you away from the fandom by being overly excited that you would grace me with cosplay and love.
Right.
Like
Right.
I would,
You're like,
you
"You
know,
love my characters too?"
I
Do you
I
want to
I
talk
think
about that?
I think a long time ago I did scare a couple people off because they drew one of my characters and I was way too excited about it and they were like, "Okay, I'm
Gotta
going
go.
away." But like, I don't care.
Yeah, of course
As
not.
long as you're not hurting someone,
Right.
I don't give a fuck if you're cosplaying as Juggalo version of Gwen. I don't
Listen,
care.
I want that.
I would love
I think
that.
that would
If
be amazing.
if you love Gwen enough that you would do anything to show appreciation for
Mhm.
her as a character, you love any of my characters enough. I love you. That's as far as it goes, you know. But anyways,
Yeah.
I gatekeeping is another
It's silly. It's
uh
silly to me.
is another very big pet peeve of mine. I will defend everyone to the death
Right. I mean, why
over that.
if you're not a teenager and you're gatekeeping, why?
Mhm,
Because
mhm.
like I get
Get a life.
teenagers want, want to feel like they have a place to belong and that they're like a special part of something, right? I think we've all been
Yeah.
there. As a kid, you're trying to figure out where you
Yeah.
go.
But then you understand, you grow older, you're like, oh,
That was silly.
why am I an asshole?
Right. Right. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's the thing. There are people
Mhm.
that do not grow out of that, and that's silly to me because like not everybody has the time to invest in knowing every little thing, or it might not be their number one love, but they still like it. And that you
Yeah.
shouldn't like shun someone out of the fandom because they
Hell no.
didn't do enough.
No.
Like
Annoying.
enjoy the way you want to enjoy.
Yeah.
Controversial K-pop stance because I'm also a dirty dirty multi.
Me too.
So, um
Me too.
my last little news tidbit, right? Um I think it was Friday. Friday was when I saw
Friday,
it.
Friday.
Gotta get down on Friday. JYP artists and Coke did a
Oh yeah, that was
collaboration.
Friday.
And so
Yeah,
we had a
the K
song with
wave.
the JYP himself, amazing. Stray
The
Kids,
J Y.
ITZY, and NMIX.
It's
And
a.
it's pretty good. It was cool. Anyway, their Coke is releasing a K Wave uh
Mhm.
special flavor, and I was
So
looking
excited.
into it, right? Because I was like, I could try it. It could be fun. Um, they only sell it on the website, which is kind of lame,
Yeah,
to be honest. Because I'm like, I just wanted to go to the store, get one of like the special bottles that they've been doing, and try it. But I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna go through all that to order from their
yeah.
website. I mean, it's one more step, but like still, I only want one.
It's
What if I
one
don't
more
like it?
step.
I have to order
That's one step
4.
too many. Yeah,
True. I'm like, I just want to buy one and be like, that's good, or I hate it. Either way.
yeah,
But the branding is cool. The
yeah.
the color scheme is like a bluey purple thing.
I feel
I
like
love that.
eventually they have to bring this to the stores. Like,
I would be happy if they did.
you know how K-pop stands are like they buy things in droves
Right.
if it has anything to do with it, and
Now,
so I think they'll buy enough that
I don't
maybe you'll
know.
see it maybe in like a QT or something. Like QT sometimes has been known to have limited
True.
flavors and stuff. So,
True.
you know,
All the merch and the drinks are still available online. So I don't know. I don't know how
yeah,
well this is hitting, but
I don't know.
we'll
I
see.
mean,
It's
I
only
think
been the
probably
weekend, I guess.
yeah, probably not everyone is aware yet. But
I
yeah,
think they messed up a little bit by not having it available in stores as well.
yeah,
But we'll see. Maybe they will.
yeah.
All right. Do we want to talk about new releases?
We
I'm
can
going
talk about
back.
new releases.
I'm going back a couple weeks because we haven't done this yet. But
I can
typically,
actually look
we'll
at the texts that you sent me because you always send me like
I do, and they are on the list.
they are.
um, I'll do like whatever came out in the week. I'm sure I missed
Yeah,
some. I just picked the ones that stood out to me. So,
yeah.
um, starting with Twice. Twice released a new album with
Mhm.
Youth, right? And
Mhm.
their single is really good.
Yeah, it is.
That was the one I sent you a few weeks ago. Let me
Yeah.
pull her up here.
Yes.
Oh
I
no.
have added all of that to my mega playlist of music.
Yeah.
And sometimes I shuffle my playlist and I go, what the hell is this? Where did this come from? It's good. And then I realize it's something that you sent me like weeks ago.
Yeah. I'm on it. Your girl's on it. Yeah, what was it? Her. Oh no. What happened
Oh,
here?
oh no.
Oh no, 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 no. Okay, there we go.
I did.
Was it One Spark? Was that the single?
Let me look because you shared it with me and it shows. Yeah, One Spark was the single.
Yes, that one I really liked. That one was a good
Yeah.
one. I meant to have the albums up that I was gonna share. So
With you,
with Youth, yep. One Spark
they
single,
call it
very
an
good.
EP, but there's 6 songs on there, so
Yeah,
I don't
like
know.
it's a mini album.
Yeah.
Um,
Why don't they just call them mini albums? I guess EP
EP is
is all
extended play.
encompassing
Yeah,
of that. Yeah.
so it's longer than a single, not long enough to be an LP.
Yeah.
Um, next one is the Coke collab, Like Magic. So that's the one I was talking about a little bit. I liked it. I thought it was catchy.
Yeah.
It was cool to see those groups working together, and of course,
Yeah.
and of course, putting
It was a
JYP in the
great
mix.
video.
Yeah, the video is
Yeah.
cool. Gotta love when JYP gets involved.
I love JYP so much. If JYP has one fan, it is no. If JYP has two fans, it is me and JYP. If
That's true.
JYP has one fan, one of us is dead. If he has zero fans, we are both dead.
Why weren't you at his concert, Dustin? Why weren't you there?
Because I'm poor.
He did a tiny tour. Honestly, that one you probably could have gone to. I
I
hate to
I
say
don't
that
know.
this man did not sell out his tour
Oh,
stops for JYP.
I'm sad. I love him. I do.
Uh,
I have like 4 or 5 songs of his on my
I
mega
know you do. You should have
playlist.
been there. You should have been there. I don't
He,
even know that he stopped in Dallas. I'll be honest with you. I
I,
can't give
I
you that
love.
much hell.
I don't remember seeing anything about him being
Because
in
you would have been there.
Texas.
You would have been
I
there.
would have been there. I think, sadly, it's hit or miss with Texas. Like if they come here, it's either Houston or Dallas. And I think the last few times people have been here has been in Houston, and that's like 12 hours away or something, 8 or 9. I
It's
don't
like
know.
8 hours, yeah.
8 hours away. Yeah.
But
Texas is a big state.
it's a big state. It's hard to drive out of. That's the big one.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
speaking
mhm.
of Dallas and people coming, I'm sorry, this is completely
Okay.
off topic, but
Pausing K-pop corner.
my homie Lisa Wallen
Ah, mm.
sent out email things and asked people to tell her like where you would like to see her.
Uh-huh.
And she's not very I don't want to say confident, but her self-esteem is a little low, and so she didn't think she was going to get a lot of things. She got a long list of people
That's
going, "Please
good.
come to my state." And one of
She's
the things
funny.
was she's hilarious. And one of the things was Dallas, and I was like, "Please,
Yes.
please come here."
That'd be so cool. I
Yeah,
did not, to
but
be fair, I did not know her until she was hosting that one like a
yeah,
dragon live stream, but I loved her.
I
I
saw her
related her to
because
her so much.
she, she had done a tabletop.
Mm,
gaming video. I don't think it was necessarily Dungeons and Dragons because they do so many.
sure.
She had done something with Jerry of Penny Arcade fame,
Right.
and I caught that, and I thought she was hilarious, and I followed her, and then she ended up following me back, and then I saw her stand up, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's
Yeah.
hilarious. So yeah, but
Relatable.
anyways,
I would recommend her.
yeah. Anyways,
Okay, next one is G Idol. They released their
G
second
Idol,
full album.
I
Very
love them
exciting.
so much.
Wife was their first single, and I liked it. It was
Yeah,
definitely we'll say mixed as far as the
yeah.
reception goes, because some people think their English lyrics are not the best, but I think they're fine. I don't care. I think it's fun.
Well, I mean, that's happened before with
Right.
these groups, and it's just the vibe. You don't necessarily always
They didn't
understand
like
the
Tomboy
Korean
either.
lyrics. I
I
love
don't.
Tomboy.
They didn't
I
like the
love
English
G
and
Idol.
Tomboy either, so I'm like, I don't really care about your opinion because I like Tomboy too.
Yeah, I
So
love
I listened to
Tomboy. I
Wife. It was
love
very good.
Nude.
Nude. Yep.
Uh, what you think about Nude? Feel so rude.
Think outside the box.
Son
Bet
the
you like
box.
it.
I love G Idol so
Me
much.
too. All right. Next release is the first mini album by 10. This goes back to my love of NCT. NCT. I think he's in Wavy too. Um,
Yeah,
I did not realize he didn't have a mini album yet, which is kind of surprising to me.
yeah.
Um, he had like a single a few months ago that came out, Birthday. So good. So good. So I was very excited to hear his new mini album. Um,
Yeah.
which one? There was one that I listened to, and it was very good.
Was it maybe Nightwalker?
Did I send it to you?
I think so. There's Nightwalker,
It had
Water,
something to do with,
Dangerous.
night, so it was either Nightwalker or Shadow, but anyway, the
Yeah,
whole thing is good. But
yeah.
really enjoyed it. And then our next one is a single, but it's
Hmm.
one of my favorite groups of all time. Well, a solo from one of my favorite groups of
Yeah.
all time. Ween. Ween released a new single called Wee.
I
gotta
love
add the
Leanne.
gotta
She
add
just
three
had an
E's.
album not
She
that
did.
long ago,
She did.
and it was fantastic.
Yeah. All of the
I loved
Mamamoo
that
girls,
album.
I love them. I love them so
Oh
much.
my God.
They
That
are
group does not get enough love in this world. I would do anything for Mama.
literally talking back to getting into K-pop. I walked in, we drove like across town, right? Across several towns actually to be correct,
Yeah.
to go to our first like K-pop shop,
Oh my God,
and I
yeah.
walked into this store and I saw Hwasa's little single album,
Oh.
I'm a bitch. And I was like, "What? I don't think you can do that. Can you do that?" And then I fell in
And we
love. I
got
love
such a
Hwasa.
beautiful poster too with
Yes.
that.
Oh, I love Hwasa so much.
Her album is so fucking good.
That is one of
Love
my
her.
most cherished albums. I love her. I love her so much.
Same, same.
I didn't know she was part of a group. I didn't know anything about her. I just saw the little cover and I went, oh, I love you. Anyway, we stand Hwasa in here. We stand all of Mamamoo, to be honest.
Mama,
That was our first K-pop concert. We went and saw
it
Mamamoo.
was that was the best concert
Mamamoo.
ever.
We love them.
I will cherish that concert
It was
forever.
so good.
It was
It was
amazing.
so good. If I couldn't go see BTS, this was an excellent second
Mhm,
choice. I
mhm.
love them. They are amazing. Favorite.
I love them so much.
On
Anyways,
on the list of people that I love, IU would also be on that list. We love her.
Ayu. She just
She
had a single with V.
well, he was in the video, yeah.
He was in
Uh
the video. He didn't sing.
he didn't sing on it. And that was
Ah,
what I was going to say on this EP, on this mini album that she released. It's called The Winning. Love Wins All is probably my favorite track, but
It's
I
such a
also
good
like
song.
Shopper.
Good
Shopper was
video.
good as well.
Oh
Oh, the
yeah, yeah.
video made me cry for Love Wins All.
It was such a good video.
I'm like, I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why it got to me so bad, but oh
It
my
was
god, did I
emotional.
cry?
It was a
It
very
was.
emotional video.
It was.
Uh, I highly recommend that video. There are two K-pop videos so far that I have seen that I'm like, that needs to win every award in every country that
Mhm.
does awards for
Mhm.
songs because
What's the other one? What's the other one, Dustin?
Bounce
Uh-huh.
ATs
Bouncy. Yep.
ATs
ATs.
Bounce.
Yep. Mhm.
That video is so fucking good, and I
I love
wish
it.
it won like 1,000
It
awards,
was so good.
and I I wish that I use Love Wins All would win 1,000
It
awards.
deserves it
Like
as well.
those two
Bouncy will
videos
not
are
make you cry.
way
I'll
better.
add that in.
It will not. It will make you laugh, and it will make you wish they had done photo cards of the bird in the video.
Oh my god, I stand the bird.
But yeah, those are the two videos that I wish would win all the awards. Like they deserve so much for that.
Yes. Agree. And IU has a chance because it did just come out this year. So,
Yeah.
hopefully, hopefully.
Hmm.
So next on my list is Moonbuell, another Mama Mo girly.
Moonbyul,
We love her. We
she
stan her.
always knocks it out of the park
Yes. Her
with all of her solo stuff.
This was, I think, did they consider this a full length or is this another EP? This was
Um,
a full length. Okay. So
yes.
she had a
Yeah,
full
yeah, yeah.
length
It was her
release.
first album.
Yes. Starlet of Muse. And I will say my favorite off of this one. I'm trying to give you guys like one track that I think is
Yeah.
an excellent representation of who they are to check out. Think About is my favorite. I think it was her first single off the album, and I think that was an excellent choice.
Can I say my favorite?
Yes, go.
Touching and moving.
Yeah, that that was her second single. That was her the day the album came out, that was the single that went along with it. So that's her like main one.
I
But
love that
I
one.
loved Think About.
Yeah.
Um our next one
Mm-hmm.
is Easy by Le Seraphim.
Let's
That
Seraphim.
one is another mini album. I would say the title track was my favorite of
Mm-hmm.
that one. So check out that.
Mm-hmm.
And then my final choice of the new releases, BB.
I
I
love
love
her so
BB.
much.
She had a single that came out. It was an A side and B side. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Bam Yang Gong was the
Uh,
title track single,
yeah.
and then
Oh,
the B
Sugar
side was
Rush.
Sugar Rush. My choice is
Oh,
the B side. The B side was so
I
good.
love Sugar Rush so much.
Sugar
It was
Rush.
Young Gong, if I'm saying that right. I'd have to listen to it again because obviously she says it in the song. Felt like she was trying something sort of different, and then Sugar Rush. I mean, they were both very different from each other,
Mhm.
and they had different styles, and I love both
If
of them, but
you
Sugar Rush
listen
takes the cake.
to any song that I have recommended, Sugar Rush by BB. Listen to that
Mhm.
one.
It's so
Get
good.
BB on your radar. She is so
Get
good. If she's not
BB
on your radar,
on your radar.
immediately put her there. She
I
deserves it.
love her
She's so
so
good.
much. Bibi.
BIBI, yep.
She's with Feel Good Records,
That's
which
Tiger
is run
JK, right?
by Tiger JK, yes. And I think his wife has something to do with the
Mireille,
production as
yeah.
well. Yeah. But BB is amazing. I love BB. All of her songs, every
Yes.
single one of them is in my playlist, and I listen to her all the time.
Yes. I feel like I feel like she's known well, well known enough because she's on like what is that one? I'm subscribed to the channel, but they
Mm.
do all the promotional. They're not the promotional. They're performance videos when all the
Yeah.
artists release a new song.
Oh
And
yeah,
she got
because
one
her
of that this time.
performances
So
are always
good,
amazing.
so good.
When she does a performance, she really puts her all into it on stage, and she has a
Her
presence.
and her music videos, so good.
Mhm. There were a couple that had something to do with each other. I think they kind of, yeah, they followed a story. It was
Mm-hmm.
like Animal Farm, I think was the one,
Sure.
and Vengeance
Yes.
had something to do with each other.
And I was gonna say, if you listen to one more song by BB, Vengeance,
Mm-hmm,
Vengeance has to
mm-hmm,
be it.
mm-hmm. It does. It's her best song.
I love her. Okay. Anyway, that was my new releases for the last couple weeks, we'll say. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
going forward, it'll just be like this coming
Yeah.
week. So look forward to that.
Hell yeah.
All right. Should we get into our main segment, which is not far off from what we were talking about?
All right. Do you want to? Who do you want to go first?
Yeah, I can go first. So our next segment, just because I don't know, I'm always listening to the new music videos and all that,
Yeah.
was our top 5 K-pop songs of the moment. So
Yeah.
I
Because
will
we
go first.
change all the time.
Yes, yeah, and we talked about like doing our top 5 K-pop songs of all time. I can't do it. I can't. I can't.
Yeah.
That would be way too hard for me. So I figured of the moment, you can find out what I'm listening to currently.
Yeah.
And that would be fun. And same for Dustin. Dustin's big into the K-pop. Maybe by
Hmm.
force, unsure.
No.
We'll check in with him.
It's amazing. Music is good. Music is good music. You know.
That's true. Um
I be listening to all kinds of
you
cultures
do.
and different musics. Jordan recommended something from the Middle East
Love
that
that.
I still love to this day. It's very good.
Love that.
Anyways,
I agree. Music is music.
yeah,
Good music is good music. Doesn't matter where it's from.
yeah.
Um okay. I will start. Did you order
Your
your
number?
list in some
Yes,
sort
I
of
did.
fashion? Okay,
I
so
did. I think it should. Your number five, then my number five, then your
that's
number
fine.
four.
I just mean when you put it, did you like go by least favorite to most favorite or just
Yeah,
in general? Okay.
yeah. I mean, kind of. It just feels disingenuous to say least favorite. It's
Sure.
just these five
You're
are mine ended up kind of being of all time,
okay,
but
that's fine.
it may change. But these five are my top five favorite out of all of the K-pop songs right now.
That's fine. Um
Yeah.
I'm just going to say I can't rank them, so I just kind of more
Okay.
have a bulleted list and go
All right.
this is what I like right now. So, I'm like
Our
I don't know
our
if you
lists are
genuinely numbered
slightly
them.
different.
Yeah. But I'm like I like these. I'll
Okay.
go with my number 5 for all
Okay.
intents and purposes is
Mhm.
Crazy Form by ATEEZ. Uh
Mhm.
just ATEEZ releases bangers. That's it. That's
Yeah.
all they do.
They really do. ATs and Stray Kids deserve more love.
Yeah. Yeah. Big time. Yes. But yeah, that's basically it. Listen to it. It's a bop. It's fun. Your number
All
5.
right. My number five. Funny we were just talking about BB, and funny we were just talking about Vengeance. It's Vengeance by BB. And it was hard. It was really hard
Mhm.
to narrow it down to five because, like Mandy says, it changes. Uh, Sometimes depending on mood, what your five are. But these five, I always come back to, and Vengeance. Oh, it's a no skip for me. It's one of those songs I can
Never
never
skip.
skip
Yeah. For
ever.
sure.
Yeah. All right. Your number four.
My number 4. I'm trying to decide real quick. I guess I'll put After the After Party by BM of
Mhm.
Card. It's so
Yeah.
good. It's so good. I love
He's
Big
really
Matthew.
cool.
He's
I
so
like
cool.
him.
He's so cool.
Yeah,
Basically, he
they're
released a single, and
yeah,
both the A side and B side are good. Um, Low Key was the A side. After the After Party was the B side. Both so good. Card is
card.
another group that needs more love.
Yeah, and they're very. I don't know if they lived in America or what, but they're a
DM
lot
from
more
like California.
Americanized. Yeah, they're a lot more Americanized than most K-pop groups, so they're
Hmm.
very hip with the jokes here, and
Yeah,
they're very funny people.
they're funny.
But
If
yeah,
you feel like K-pop is more, we'll say, kiddie or tame, listen to Card.
yeah, Card is way different
Card,
than that.
BB,
What
both
was
great
that one
examples.
song?
Which one?
They had a song about pleading the fifth or something like that that cracked me up, or I don't know. I remember it was something about doing something illegal,
Okay.
but it was very funny.
I love them.
Anyways,
I think they're great.
yeah, they are. Um, my number four
Yes.
is Love Her to Death. It is Hawassa. It is a
Oh,
song, and this was the hardest number four I've ever done because
okay.
two songs on this very album. Oh, anyways, it was FOMO. I had to choose between FOMO and Bless
Are
You,
you
and I went
creating
with
FOMO?
FOMO. I'm creating FOMO. I went with
She
FOMO
created FOMO.
because, oh my God, that song.
It's so
That's
good.
another no skip. It's not my mind, is not my brain.
I love her.
And then she starts singing, and oh my God, it's so
Kwasa
good.
has such a beautiful voice. I love her
She
so much.
does. She
She's
does.
everything
She
to
could
me.
sing anything. She could sing the news to me. I would listen to it.
I just love her.
Uh,
I love her so much.
yeah.
Um, my number 3, right? 3.
Hmm.
I'm going to
Three. Yep.
put this one here. Love
Hmm.
Wins All. Like we said,
Oh yeah.
music video made me cry. It's a beautiful song. And it's
Yeah.
IU. So, Korea's
Love
little
IU.
sister. Let's go.
Maria's little sister, and she was in a K drama. That's one of the best K dramas ever called
So true.
Hotel Del Luna,
So
and
true.
she killed it. She was such a good actress.
That show
Anyways,
is just amazing.
it is so fantastic. It's on Netflix,
Yes.
so go check that out. My number three
Yes, go. Go for it.
is my girl who also deserves more love, Lee High.
Mm-hmm.
She was also a K-pop singer that I discovered way young or a lot younger, and I didn't know what K-pop was, but she has a song called "Fuck with Us,"
Mm.
and it's so good.
I'll have to listen to
It's
that. I
so
don't
good.
think I have that on my playlist.
It's a song I've definitely played with you in the car. It's
Probably.
she has a way of singing kind of like Hawassa, where she has a powerful voice.
Yes. We love the girlies
Lovely
with
high.
strong voices. We love them.
We do. We do. Yeah, you're number two.
Oh my god, my number 2. I can't believe we're here. I have to decide between two that I don't know how I'm going to pick. Okay. Okay. All right. Um this is tough. If I could tie
Mhm,
two at number 1, it would be
mhm,
this one and then the next one. So I'm going to
mhm.
put this as my number 2 as much as it pains me.
Okay.
Guilty by Taemin, anything by Taemin. I am not a Taemin stan. I will say it over and over. It's not me. You can't catch me.
He's always saying that because sometimes we just chill and like put K-pop on and YouTube autoplays. She's only saying that because it autoplays Taemin like 50 times a day, so I give her shit about it all the time. I'm like, oh, you're Taemin's biggest fan right there.
I love Taemin. I am a Taemin
Yeah.
stan. I'm a dirty Taemin stan. I will stand Taemin until the day I die.
I
Anyway,
swear to God, the amount of times Criminal comes on that TV is insane. And it's not like she picks it, it just comes on all the time. YouTube picks it for her.
it does, and I had no choice. I had no choice because it didn't even start out with me seeking it out like that. I think I listened to
Yeah.
some Shiny, and then it went, but Taemin, you could listen to Taemin. Have you heard of Taemin? And then it just kept playing the songs, and I'm like, whoa, I really like Taemin. Dustin went by
Uh,
the way of Key. I went by the way
yeah.
of Taemin.
You got brainwashed by YouTube?
I did. I
Big
did.
YouTube?
It said, Taemin. Taemin is your bias. And I was like, okay, whatever you say. Anyway, Guilty. Oh my god, it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
I have watched probably 100 TikToks of him doing the dance with all these different idols. I don't care. I will watch every single one. Every single one that is sent to me, I will watch it because I love Taemin.
Yeah.
Anyway, your number 2.
My number two, if you thought we were gonna do a top five um, K-pop songs and BTS wasn't gonna touch this list somehow, you were wrong. My number two is BTS's rap best rapper and perhaps the best K-pop rapper of all time, August D.
Oh yes, the
Suga from BTS. His song Dae Cha is my number two. And if you don't know Dae Cha and you're into K-pop, where have you been?
Where
Dae
have you
Cha
been?
is one of the best songs of all time.
Can I like
I'll say it.
sidebar off of that? Sidebar off
Hmm.
of that. My ultimate hype song, August D, right?
August D.
By August D is my ultimate hype song. If I
A to the
want to
G to
feel
the U to the STD.
if I want to feel
What?
like I could
Because I
just
play the D.
fight a dude, like that's it. That's the song.
Hmm.
It's so good.
But I gotta give it to David Cha. I love
That's
David
fine.
Cha, and when he did D-Day,
Oh,
and he had a spiritual successor
Hagum.
to David Cha,
Mhm.
Hagum, I cried. I actually did cry a little bit. I was like, "Oh my God, it's happening!" I got my sequel, and it was so good.
Also, can we just discuss D-Day? Fantastic album, back to front, front to back.
Fantastic album.
Snooze.
August D
Oh my god.
never misses. He never misses.
Never.
I love Snooze. Yeah,
Minyungi. My
Polar Night.
ultimate, all groups, every single person, my ultimate bias. Minyungi.
Mm. Minyungi, aka Sugar, aka August D. Okay, you're number one.
Oh yeah, it's time for number 1. Okay, number 1. 3D featuring Jack Harlow by the JK.
Yep. Also from BTS.
Also from BTS. Because
It's your hot girl coach. BTS.
eh. Anyway, yeah, I love BTS. Um
Mhm.
I thought JK was my bias. I was wrong. I was bias broke by the Minyungi, but I still
Mm,
love JK. I still love him.
yeah,
Everything he puts out is just he's so good. He's such a good singer.
he
His whole
is.
album was so good,
He
and
has perfect pitch.
he has perfect pitch. What a talent.
He did a song with Charlie Puth called
He
Left
did.
and Right that gets stuck in my head about
So good.
24 times a week.
Yeah, it's so good. JK,
It's,
everything
mhm,
literally Golden Maknae. There's a reason he got that nickname. It's true. That's it.
mhm.
Anyway, that's a good one.
My number one, you know what it is. You know where I went. My favorite K-pop group who deserves so much love and gets not enough love at all is ITZY.
I was about to say.
They have a song called Nobody Like You, which also doesn't get enough love as far as ITZY's discography.
Mm,
But Nobody Like You is such a fun song. It's a poppy, lovely song, and the
poppy poppy.
video is very like It's kind of like a vintage video. It's just nice. It looks like them just having fun and chilling out for the day, but such a good song.
Love.
I love Nobody Like You. I will never skip that song.
Can I shout
Love it.
out an
Hmm.
ITZY song that I love right now?
Hmm.
Kill Shot.
Kill Shot.
Kill Shot. I was
Kill
watching
Shot.
their like I think it was just a mini album, but when they released their latest mini album, they did like a showcase,
Yeah.
which is finally coming back again. When
Hmm.
COVID happened, they like kind of stopped that, but
Well, I
they're
think they
starting to
had.
do it again. And
Yeah.
they started out with Kill Shot, and I was like, "What is this? I
they
love this."
they released another little mini album since
Yeah,
then, but they did it like really fast, so
that's
it
true.
just kind
They
of
did
came
have
out
another
one
new
right
mini
after the
album.
other. Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Unfortunately, this one was without Leah. I
I
hope she's
know.
good. But
We love Leah.
the from the Killshot album,
Mm-hmm.
the song "Psychic Lover" I love so
I know that's
much.
your pick.
It's so good.
I was just so blown away with Killshot
Yeah,
that nothing could top it in my mind. I was just absolutely knocked off my feet.
yeah.
Would die for them at that point. That's how much it it knocked me off my
I
feet. I was
love
like, "Oh my god.
I love
Hello?"
Itzy. I feel like they don't get enough love. I feel like Mamamoo doesn't get enough love.
Mhm. Would agree. Would agree.
I need people to listen to Mamamoo and Itzy
Can
and BB.
can I add something to this kind of concept because Mamamoo, I was a little bit scared, we'll say beginning of last year because
Yeah.
their contracts were expiring.
Hmm.
The girlies were starting to sign new contracts. Wheein was the first to sign hers, and she left Mamamoo's agency. And I was
Yeah.
like, is this the end of Mamamoo? Very scared.
Yeah.
Didn't like it. Not a fan. Um, but no, they were still working together. Everything is fine. That her solo activities are just being done by this new agency. Same with
Yeah.
Hwasa. Hwasa went with P Nation. Really hoping to see like a mini album full. Would prefer a full length. Would be happy with a
Yeah.
mini album. With
But
P
it
Nation,
feels like they are all leaning towards full length albums. Was Ween's latest, not the single, but the
I
one before that,
think
was that a full album? The In the Light,
yes.
Ween in the
I
Light?
just looked at it on my shelf. It was her first full length.
Yeah, I think they're all leaning towards doing that. Um,
At this point in the game, they absolutely should.
yes. And Solar and Moonbeam always have something going together. I hope Solar does a full album and
Yes.
Moonbeam just released hers. And it was tough to not put more on this list. I really
I know.
tried to limit it.
I
Yeah,
if I was going back further, which the whole
yeah,
reason I limited it to newer releases, like we'll say
mhm,
within the last 6-ish months,
yeah,
was because I knew as the person I am, I could not narrow it down to 5. Good Luck would if I was doing all time, Good Luck by Mamamoo would absolutely be on there. I feel like it
Good
shows
luck, get it.
how
I
good
like you.
they work together as not only a group, but how strong they
Yeah,
are as soloists as well. It's such a good representation of Mamamoo as a whole and as individuals. That's it.
I really think it speaks to how much they love each other and enjoy working together. That even though they all signed like separate contracts, they
Hmm.
still come back together and they still support each other. Like,
That's where I was
Hwasa
going. Right.
signed her thing, and Moonbyul just released her album, and Hwasa has been all over social media promoting Moonbyul's thing.
Hmm.
So obviously they don't hate each other; they love each other.
Right.
It's
And they
like a
went on a
family,
tour
and you
last
can,
summer.
yeah, you could tell from the stage that
Yes.
these are people who consider each other family.
Yes. I would say two groups. Mama Moo being more the current example,
Yeah.
and I'll say Got 7, right? Was a,
Mhm.
older example. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with GOT7. I would love to see
Yeah,
new music from them. I don't think it's super long ago that they had a release, like maybe a few years,
yeah,
but in K-pop time, that's a long time. It's a long time for
yeah.
no new release. Um, but GOT7 was the same
It
way.
was
They
so
they
hard not to put a Jackson Wang song on
oh, I
this
love
too.
Jackson. I love Jackson so much.
He's
Um,
so cool.
I'm
He
waiting
just
for
did a
Magic
song
Man
with
2.
Sierra
Yep, with Sierra.
called "Slow,"
Oh,
and
so good.
that's such a good song. We could go all day
Yeah.
recommending to you guys K-pop songs.
Yes.
K-pop is a wonderful genre, and I do believe in America there's a lot of stigma with it and how it's presented, but just get over yourself, have fun, listen to music. Life is too
Yes,
fucking
I
short,
agree.
dude.
Um,
Um, when you get into K-pop, you open yourself up to, first of all, not just K-pop. Like if you listen to other things and not worry about, oh, I don't understand it. Listen, I'm deaf. There are like a bunch of American songs that uh, I was hearing completely different lyrics when I was a kid than what was actually the lyrics. Like it's just
someone,
about the vibe.
right, the vibe, absolutely. I was gonna say, someone in my
Yeah.
life said to me, "Why do you like? You can't understand it. Why do you listen to it?" And I'm like, "Cause it's good. Cause
Yeah,
it's a
and
bop.
like
I can look up translations. Like I don't have to understand it in the moment to know it's a bop."
some of the people who have said that to me are big anime fans, and I have seen them sing along to anime theme songs that are in Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, what's the difference, asshole?
Exactly. Exactly. Um, but yeah, I'm like, as soon as you throw like any like stigma aside, I guess, of
Yeah,
going, well, you don't understand it. So,
yeah,
so
I
there's
don't care.
gigantic fandoms. I can learn.
Yeah,
I can learn what they're saying to me. That's fine. A
it
bop's a
doesn't
bop's a bop.
matter. If it sounds great, it sounds great.
That's it. I'm listening to Thai. I'm listening to Japanese. Like
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Japanese, I'm listening to Spanish, I'm listening to Korean, listening to Middle Eastern music. It's all music.
So
It's all
true.
music.
So true. Anyway, this is a nice place to wrap it up. Also,
Yeah.
I remembered the last news item that I forgot to come back
Hmm?
to. J Hope has a new
J-Hope!
documentary and new album, I think, coming out
Yeah.
soon. So be on the lookout for that. I'll announce it when it's time
Hell yeah.
because I am so excited. I miss J Hope so much. I miss him.
When we get Jin back in June.
We get Jin back. I get Jin back for my birthday. Pretty much. He comes like 2 days before. Doesn't matter. It's
Yeah.
for my birthday.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
That's all I got. That's all she wrote. I think you did your number one, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay,
My
we're good.
number one was Itzy.
That's right. It's a not shy, not me. Okay. Yeah, that's all I got.
That's all I got.
All right.
I
Well,
guess we should say
w-
goodbye to the peoples.
we should say goodbye to the peoples. Thank you so much for hanging out with us for another week.
Yeah.
Um,
Hope you guys enjoyed it.
yeah, and we will see you next week. Same time, same place.
Yeah.
Bye, gang. Love
Bye.
you.
Love y'all. Please like, comment, subscribe.
Do the
Let
thing.
us know what you thought.
If you have favorite K-pop songs, please give them to me. I love
Yeah.
listening to new songs.
Or if we recommended something to you and you went and checked it out and you like it, please let us
Let
know. We
us
would love to
know.
know. We would
Yes.
love to know.
And obviously,
Especially
I
if it's
would love
BB.
to. Yes. Yes.
Tell me you
Especially,
love BB.
especially if it's BB. You
Oh,
must love BB.
one more artist I want to shout out that doesn't get any love but so deserves it. Lee Young Ji.
Oh, I love her. Smoke. Okay. I don't know what everybody's TikTok for you pages look like, The smoke dance challenge blew up my TikTok page. She's the lady rapper on it. She's so good.
Yep,
Okay.
it's fantastic.
She's good.
Anyways,
Anyway, thank y'all so much for
yeah,
listening, for hanging out with us. I agree. If you listened to anything and you liked it, please let me know. I'd love to talk to you about it, obviously. If you have any recommendations for me, let me know. I'd love to listen to it. And we will
yes.
see you guys next week. Bye, gang. Love you. Bye,
Bye. Love
besties.
you.